Welcome to a deep dive. You've given us some fascinating source material today.
Yeah, definitely. We're looking at these excerpts from a YouTube transcript, The Dreams We Lose by Morning.
Right. And our plan is to really unpack the core ideas here about finding strength, creativity, even success, often when nobody else is looking, sort of in those unconventional hours.
Exactly. And digging into what that actually means for you, the listener, because it starts with this really intriguing contrast, doesn't it?
It does, this idea of the you that exists late at night versus the daytime you. Let's explore that first.
Okay, so the source brings up this concept. It calls it the midnight version of yourself.
The midnight version. Okay.
Yeah, the part that sort of wakes up when everything else quiets down. It's specifically not the 9 to 5 you.
And why does it emerge then? What's the thinking in the source?
Well, it suggests that's when the noise dies down, the external pressure, the need to perform, it kind of evaporates.
So your mind gets space,
Hmm.
room to breathe.
Precisely. Room to play, actually. And the ideas that come up then, they're not the safe ones.
Right, not the ones that fit neatly into expectations.
No, they're the wilder ones, the ones maybe buried under I should or maybe later. The source suggests your imagination feels safer then, less filtered.
I found that really compelling, this idea that creativity isn't like punching a time clock.
Exactly. It doesn't clock in at 9. It shows up when your soul feels safe, and sometimes, yeah, that's only after midnight.
And it's not treated as a mistake or just being a night owl. It's framed differently.
Totally. The source calls it you stripped of performance, your raw self, unfiltered and real.
Wow. So the advice then is, don't shut that down.
Pretty much, don't ignore it just because the world runs on a schedule. Lean into it. Create something. That impulse might be the real you trying to get out.
Even if no one sees it right away.
Yeah, the source implies your best stuff might come from those quiet moments.
Okay, so this idea of working when others aren't,
Yeah.
it connects to another big theme, right? Finding strength in that quiet effort.
Right. Absolutely. It transitions smoothly into finding strength and success through effort when others are resting, basically.
Like that story about the midnight workout guy. That was vivid.
Yeah, being out there at 3 a.m., nobody around, and feeling like where everybody's getting weaker, I'm getting stronger.
But it's not just about running or swimming, is it?
No, the source emphasizes it's what those things do for your mentality. That's the key. You don't improve by staying comfortable.
You don't get better on the couch, as it says.
Right. And this kind of commitment, it requires really loving the work itself, maybe more than comfort, even more than sleep.
That's where the Kobe Bryant and Allen Iverson anecdote comes in.
Exactly. AI going to the club, Kobe's in the gym. Or the speaker saying being in the office late is actually more fun than going out. It's about where your passion lies.
Which leads to that pretty pointed question the source asks.
Oh, yeah. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. That definitely makes you pause.
It does. And it backs this up with some intense examples, doesn't it? Like the willingness to operate on minimal sleep.
Really intense. 3 hours, 2 hours, even staying up for days to grab an opportunity.
That's how bad you got to want it. That line kind of sums it up.
It really does, and this ties into another powerful idea. The value of doing hard things.
Things that suck, to quote the source directly.
Correctly. Yeah, it doesn't pull punches.
Yeah.
But the argument is that the real value, maybe the value, is found on the other side of something that sucks.
So instead of avoiding the difficulty,
You lean into it. It uses the contrast of just sitting on the couch with Doritos versus facing a challenge. And the advice is blunt. Don't do that.
attack the challenge instead.
Exactly. Attack it. And win or lose, the source says, you will be better, more prepared for the next thing.
That reframing feels important. It connects to another point, too, about wasted time.
Oh, absolutely. The source gets very specific about wasted time, using undergraduates as an example.
Right, estimating maybe 4 to 6 hours lost per day.
Yeah, inefficient studying, watching YouTube videos you don't even care about, things like that.
And when you add it up,
It's staggering. The source calculates it. 25 hours a week. That's 100 hours a month.
which is like 2.5 work weeks.
A month.
Yeah. Over a year, it adds up to half a year of work weeks per year, potentially just gone, wasted.
And then there's the money angle.
Right. Even valuing your time low, say $20 an hour, which it notes is probably way too low, wasting 20 hours a week is like throwing away $50,000 a year.
Wow.
And it's not just lost time. It's framed as wasting the opportunities that are in front of you. And it makes you think, what if you just stopped doing that?
Okay, so we have the midnight version, the quiet work, embracing difficulty, not wasting time. It all seems to point towards self-accountability, doesn't it?
Absolutely. That's the core, really. The source calls the quiet work that you put in with your own two hands when no one else is watching, the 1 degree of separation.
The thing that makes the difference.
Yeah. What you do when nobody's checking up on you, and that requires a serious internal commitment, like that line. Do not expect anybody else to hold you accountable like you hold you accountable.
Because nobody knows what you do in secret. That's powerful. It puts the responsibility squarely on you.
And it connects us to self-respect, right?
Yeah.
Loving yourself enough to push through.
It does. Love yourself enough to get over whatever you need to get over so you can live your dream. It's about internal drive.
There was that anecdote about someone crying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crying in the office. And the response wasn't pity. It was, don't cry to give up, cry to keep going.
Use the pain, basically.
Right. You're already hurting. Get something out of it. Get a reward. And that relentless focus. Don't go to sleep until you succeed.
It really emphasizes self-reliance.
Totally. The idea that real success means you don't need external funding or validation to do your thing. All you have is all you need. That's a core message.
It builds up to that really strong call to action, looking in the mirror.
Yeah. Look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself, I got this. If I have to do it alone, I will.
That's intense.
It is. It's about declaring, I will become the resource. I will believe in myself. All roads start with you and you alone. No excuses.
And this sort of loops back perfectly to the midnight version idea we started with.
Exactly. The source is clear. That version of you, the one showing up when no one's watching, isn't a fluke.
It's the real deal.
It's presented as the truest part, the part that isn't performing, isn't trying to fit into boxes someone else drew. It creates because it has to, not for applause.
And maybe that's the whole point.
That's what the source suggests. Even if the world never sees it, you will, and maybe that's enough, maybe that's the point. It's about your own knowledge of what you're capable of.
So the final encouragement is really to embrace that darker, quieter time.
Yeah. Embrace the difficult nights, the restlessness. Use that energy. Use it to go further, work harder, build your legacy.
Because that's when you're becoming who you really are.
Exactly. The source ends on that note. In those quiet hours when everyone else is sleeping, you are becoming not who they expect, but who you really are.
Okay, quite a journey through these ideas. So summing up,
Yeah.
we've hit on the power of that unfiltered self in the quiet.
Right. And the strength that comes from, well, unconventional effort and facing hard things.
Plus that stark reminder about the cost of wasted time. And running through it all, this absolute need for self-belief, self-accountability.
Yeah, that reliance on your own internal drive, especially when no one's watching. That idea that your truest part operates outside the performance of daily life.
It really sticks with you. So here's a final thought for you, the listener, based on all this. If that raw, powerful version of you really comes out when the pressure's off and no one's looking.
How much of your day is spent performing or trying to meet expectations?
Exactly. And maybe how can you bring a little more of that authentic midnight version energy into your daylight hours?
Yeah.
Or thinking about the wasted time.
What's one small opportunity, just one that you might be letting slide right now, simply by not acting on it in those quieter moments?
Something to think about.